أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين فلا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. فقال الله الحكيم في محكم كتابه أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الذين لا يرجون لقاءنا ورضوا بالحياة الدنيا واطمأنوا بها والذين هم عن آياتنا غافلون أولئك مأواهم النار بما كانوا يكسبون. Indeed, those who do not expect the meeting with us and are satisfied with the life of this world and feel secure therein, and those who are heedless of our signs, for those the refuge will be the fire because of what they used to earn. Recite a second salawat. I think today, because the weather became a little bit hotter, and on top of that, fasting, the salawat volume is just going down the hill, right? So recite your third salawat in honor of Imam of Time, Hazrat Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman, and Jalallah ta'ala faraj al-Sharif. I think another reason is people sit in Al-Mahdi so scattered around. It's like you got one group on the right, one group on the left, one group in the middle, and then it's like, so you get different volumes from each side. So let's remember all of those who actually sponsored for the programs, who put in a lot of time and efforts for keeping up the majalis of the Ahlul Bayt, and let's recite a loud salawat for their health and their tawfiq. And let's not forget about Marhumin and Marhumat, all of the beloved ones who are desperately in need of all of your hasanat and all of your rewards and thawab. Let's remember them by reciting your fifth salawat, followed by Surah Al-Fatiha. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. As my dear brother mentioned, tonight is the night of the wafat or the rakat of Lady Khadija. But I think we're actually going to have the program for that tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. So let's recite Surah Fatiha, followed by the loudest of your salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajjal farajahum. So Alhamdulillah for the tawfiq of gathering around in the majlis, which is narrated and linked and referred back to the school of thought of the Ahlul Bayt. We started a discussion on the matter of eschatology, and we talked about the relationship between this world and hereafter. The verse which I recited, it is the verse 7 and 8 of Surah Yunus. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ لَا يَرْجُونَ لَقَاءَنَا وَرَضُوا بِالْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَاطْمَأَنُّوا بِهَا وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ آيَاتِنَا غَافِلُونَ. It's falling within the same category, right? Meaning that when we define this relationship between this world and the next, then of course we can sort of find a determination criterion in which we can actually determine who's the people of dunya and who will be the people of akhirah. So tonight, inshallah, we'll talk a little bit briefly about the different theories that we have in regards to the nafs, right? How is our nafs originated in general? Number two, how are the angels related to us, right? Like, what's the relationship between us and the angels? And number three, we're going to talk a little bit more about the phenomena in which is labeled as the most factual and realistic phenomena, but at the same time, it is the most forgettable and forgotten phenomena at the same time. So this three, inshallah, will be the main points of tonight's topic. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ لَا يَرْجُونَ لِقَاءَنَا وَرَضُوا بِالْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Indeed, those people who do not have this hope, who do not have this vision, who do not have this perspective of liqa'ana, of meeting with us, meaning resurrection, meaning the ma'ad, meaning hereafter. وَرَضُوا بِالْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Not only that, they found their contentment, they found their pleasure, they found their happiness, they found their peace بِالْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيا, with the life of the dunya. وَاطْمَأَنُّوا بَهَا. And further than that, they found their reliance on the dunya. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ آيَاتِنَا غَافِلُونَ. And those who are actually ignorant towards our ayat, our signs, right? أُولَٰئِكَ مَأْوَاهُمُ النَّارُ بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ. Those are the people who their destiny will be the fire of the hereafter. Why? بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ. Through the things, through the matters, through all the stuff that they have achieved, they have acquired. So let's circle back a little bit, right? We said that the akhirah is nothing except the inner aspect of the dunya, right? So if you have the exoteric aspect as dunya, we have the esoteric aspect of that one as akhirah. Every action we do comes with this inner aspect of it, right? So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that those who completely forget about the topic of resurrection, right? And when you forget about the topic of resurrection, then your main focus, your main intention, all of your energy will be focused on the dunya. Which is why Allah says, وَرَضُوا بِالْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Meaning that not only they focus on the dunya, they get happy and they get content with living in the dunya. As if there is nothing more into it. So when you think that there is nothing more beyond it, what's going to happen? All you gain and all you do is to make this dunya the best place that it can be possible, right? So that's why we see typically people used to try out so hard for making this dunya, number one, everlasting, number two, in the best condition possible. So these will be the two objectives, right? When we find that the dunya as the ultimate abad, right? وَاطْمَأَنُّوا بَهَا. Not only this, they put their reliance on the dunya. In a sense, they find their itminan, they find their trust in the matter of the worldly matters. So we go back, it's like, here comes the topic of tawakkul, because one of the things that inshallah will point out, that we actually recite in the du'as of the daily du'as of the month of Ramadan, the du'a for the 10th day, one of the things that we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to put us among those who actually put their trust and their tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's exactly opposite of what this ayah is saying, right? الَّذِينَ وَاطْمَأَنُّوا بِهَا أَوْ بِدُنْيَا. The people who actually put their trust on the dunya. So how does this differ? What does it mean when we say put our tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Does it only mean that just by the means of the word I say, okay, I make my plans, I make my agenda, I make all of this stuff on my to-do list, and then I'm going to do a tawakkul to Allah after that. I'm going to follow the reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after that. Or no, the topic of tawakkul is a little bit more thorough than this, right? I just want to give you some little extra information on the topic of tawakkul. They say tawakkul is not, on the first place, is not something, a matter of just, the words. Rather is the status of the heart, right? Meaning when the heart finds the trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's when the tawakkul actually finds its perfect example. What does it mean when the heart finds the trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It's a very hypothetical example, right? But let's imagine that you want to use Uber to get from point A to point B, right? So you use your cell phone, you point out where you're at, and you pick up your destination, and you call out the Uber to pick you up, right? So they say if the person has tawakkul, sincerely he has tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even as the Uber is coming, he knows by using his technology that the taxi is coming to pick him up, At the same time, he knows that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't will for it, that taxi will not pick him or her up, right? Meaning that in the topic of tawakkul, we find the effects of every action only and purely and solely from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like a lot of times we have the means, but the effect of those means will not get to us, right? We have the water, we drink it, but the thirst doesn't go away, right? Or vice versa, we don't have the water. They give us a piece of like dates, and the thirst that we have gets quenched, right? Meaning the means are there, but the effect of all the means comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in a sense, this is the concept of tawakkul. But then again, we have to bring it from theory, we have to bring it down to our heart, and we make it a belief in our heart in the way that our heart finds reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So on the contrary, those who do not believe, right? إِنَّ الَّذِينَ لَا يَرْجُونَ لِقَاءَنَا وَرَضُوا بِالْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَاطْمَأَنُّوا بِهَا وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ آيَاتِنَا غَافِلُونَ. So Allah makes actually, you can say 4 criterions here, right? Number 1, the one who forgets about resurrection, right? Number 2, which as a result of forgetting about resurrection, they're going to be content and pleased with the dunya. At the same time, they will put their reliance and trust on the dunya. That will be number 3. And number 4, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ آيَاتِنَا غَافِلُونَ. Little by little, they get in the habit of forgetting about all the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They completely enter the stage of ignorance, right? What happens to them? أُولَٰئِكَ مَأْوَاهُمُ النَّارُ بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ. And it's interesting, Allah says بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ. Doesn't say Allah punishes them, no. He says, with whatever they have gained in this dunya, right? All of those that they have gained will actually form, their fire of hereafter. Why? Let's go back, to the previous topic. Remember the stages of life? We mentioned the 5 stages of life, right? At the remaining of the ayah was saying those 5 stages could be the fire of hereafter, or could be the heaven and the forgiveness and all the bounties and the ni'mah of the hereafter, right? Meaning that the dunya by itself, right, if we take it as is, for itself and for only as the dunya, becomes what? Becomes the fire of hereafter. And I think the reasoning behind it is pretty simple, right? If I'm not mistaken. So we recite the salawat. Now generally speaking, when we open up the topic of nafs, or the soul as we speak, there are different theories in this regard. I don't want to get too much into details on that one. I'll just give you the basic ones, right? There is this first theory in which says that our nafs, our soul, is a spiritual matter, right? And this spiritual matter has been assigned and has been attached to the body that we have. They use the example of a bird which is inside of a cage. The cage being the body and the bird being the nafs or the soul that we have. This is, for example, they narrate this back to Ibn Sina. He says the nafs that we have, this spiritual aspect of us, right? It was a spiritual being or abstract being before, and then it was assigned to our body as we were born. This is one theory. The second theory, which comes from Mullah Sadra, he says no. The nafs that we have, it is a spiritual being. But the origin of it comes from the material, right? Meaning that as we start our journey, as we are like a fetus in the womb of our mothers, right? As we start this physical journey, at some point, ثُمَّ خَلَقْنَاهُ الْآخَرَ, right? This physical matter changes, transforms, right? And finds these 2 aspects of both physical and the spiritual, right? And that spirituality of us, which is our nafs, continues to grow as we are living in this dunya. So the origin of how the nafs is originated and how it is attached to the body, there are different opinions about it. Despite of that, we have no, disputes in the matter that this nafs continues to grow as we are living in this dunya. And when we say grow, that means, through the deeds and actions, right? Even by our walking, by our sitting, by our sleeping, right? Every little thing that we do, it has simultaneously effect on our nafs, right? It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't get forgotten, right? So this part. The second part, how are the angels come to play in this in this equation, right? So when we talk about angels, what do we know about them? We know the angels are the beings or the existence in which they have been created out of absolute intellect. Versus us, we are in a half intellect, half lost, right? Angels are purely created from intellect. We call them the mawjudat al-aqlani, right? So how are they related to us? How do they know about everything that we do? When we read the ayahs of the Quran, right? It says that, they are so closer to you that no matter what you do, right? They constantly are recording, everything that you do, everything that comes to your mind, right? They talk about the angels on your right shoulder and the left shoulder, and all of the stuff are actually recorded in the Quran, right? So how is this possible? How is this possible for the angels to have such a sovereignty over the mankind, right? We say this is possible through where? Through the matter of spirituality. I think I gave you the example last night, right? A lot of times when we confine ourselves within the position of time and place, we limit ourselves to a specific